Good afternoon, YouTube family. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Spiritually Intuitive 4444, your spiritually intuitive friend. And I'm back, and I also have a message. It's for a specific message for someone in the collective. I've pulled some cards to see what type of energy this message was coming from, who in the collective it maybe could reach, may reach. Take what you will from it, what you don't, what doesn't apply to you, please leave. Always like for you to subscribe. Love to build a YouTube family here. Really love to have you. Please don't forget to hit that like button. And let's get into it. So this message is regarding the uncomfortable truth about addictive trauma bonds and your fractured harmony collective. Why do we remain loyal to the very people who fracture our peace and leave us feeling hollow? Trauma bonds act like a drug, tricking your brain into craving chaos of unrequited devotion. Today, we're stripping away the toxic illusions so you can finally tell those soul-draining forces to kick rocks and rediscover your power. Now, collective trauma bonds. Trauma bonds don't form because you're weak. They form because some part of you has learned before this person arrived, your person, that love must be earned, chased, painfully maintained. When someone mirrors those old wounds, it feels familiar. And when familiarity masquerades as safety, we start to normalize that trauma. But here's the uncomfortable truth. External toxicity often exposes internal disconnect that you've been avoiding, something you just do not want to see, right? Not because you're broken, but because you've been conditioned to abandon yourself first. Abandon your intuition. Here is some of the cost of ignoring your intuition. Erosion of self-trust, not trusting you. And of all people, of course, we need to trust ourselves. But when you override your intuition repeatedly, you teach yourself that your inner signals are unreliable and inconvenient. That just, to me, it blows my mind that you can actually think that your intuition, your actual, what I call first mind, is inconvenient and unreliable. So it is an erosion of self-trust. And that's when you run into a little bit of trouble. If anybody in this world you need to trust other than God first, it is yourself. It's yourself. Family, whoever else that just proves themselves to be a support system for you and trustworthy, great. But God and then you. Okay. So over time, intuition is often the first whisper that something's off. Ignoring it requires emotional suppression. You would have to suppress your emotions for you not to overreact or actually take up on that red flag or that neon light. Hey, look at the warning signs. Ways that you could actually suppress your emotions. You numb discomfort to maintain the illusion of harmony. You'd rather fake happiness than to feel that awful pain that something really is wrong. Some people, we always talk about people playing in our faces, but sometimes we play in our own faces. So I think this is what some of this is coming down to. What are you willing to, what game are you willing to play with you? What are you not willing to accept so that you can live an illusion? And in all actuality, it is a fractured harmony of a relationship that you feel as if that you're in and that you've been building. Another example is you avoid conflict at the cost of authenticity. You don't want to come out and let somebody see the real you. You don't want to give them the business because you're afraid it may be too much. They might not like what they hear from you. It may turn them off. Well, oh well. I'm going to be my authenticity. I'm going to be my authentic self. I'm so sorry. Authentic self. And I'm going to stand in my truth. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. And I'm hoping you'll respect that because I wouldn't expect anything less from you. And going forward, now we've got an understanding. But if I've got to play in my own face and in yours, making us feel, or the person probably isn't feeling that everything is okay. They know that everything isn't okay. This is something that collective you may be doing for yourself to keep yourself from feeling any heartache or any pain, discomfort. Another example, you start living in a curated version of reality rather than the real one. And when I thought about that in regards to tarot, because I have to pull some cards, we have to have some type of an examples of how this could relate. What does Spirit want the collective to know about this message? What are the signs, the intuitive signs that Spirit needs the collective to know? Okay. First is a 7 of Cups. Stop living in those illusions. You cannot live in an illusion. It has to be what it is, and you have to accept it for just that. Okay. Also, if you're not actually willing to be honest with yourself and really see things for what it is, you leave yourself open to being taken advantage of. You're vulnerable enough for the wrong person to do the wrong type of things to you because they can see the good in you, that you don't mean anyone any harm. You have a good heart, but you're not protecting that heart. You're a little too, how can I say this? How can I say this to you? 9 of Cups. Very giving. You know, you're in your bliss and people can see that. So with that being said, trauma bonds, they can also look like twin flame. To you, it may appear like a twin flame. And you also may be wanting it to be your divine partner. This also came out, and that's a 5 of Swords. That's basically someone knowing that there is something wrong and someone feeling as if that they've got something over on you, or the people that are walking away know that they need to walk away from a situation that isn't for their good. A trauma bond. So let's see what else we have here. And in walking away from that trauma bond, of course, it will cause a tower. It'll cause a tower. But what it will do is it'll bring back your power. Just like we said in the beginning, your power is being drained by your person. They are feeding on your energy. They know how powerful you are. They know that you are the person that makes things happen. Okay? They know that. But it has to be an end. You have to transition and come out of that. Okay? Because if you do not, you're stuck in something that you're feeling is a healthy relationship, and really all you're doing is how could I say this? You're you're adding salt to a wound. Is that what we want to say? The wound's not healing, but you're even doing more damage by it not healing. You're adding salt into the wounds. So some of this, not some of it, the behavior has to end. I wasn't sure if I was going to give this example, but this is a very good example of what this topic is about and what may actually land for some of the collective trauma bonds. So when I thought about this, I actually thought about people that were around me, my friends, some of our friends, co-workers, and I do have two friends that met in the workplace. One was married, coming out of an abusive situation. The other friend was single, but in a relationship that was more than a couple of years. So that to me is very serious and committed. And I believe some cheating was done in that friend's relationship. So these two meet in the workplace by chance. They think it's by chance. This is just meant to be. What I think it is that I think that trauma, that type of energy, another person that feels like that can pick up on your energy. And I think that energy was being sent to each other. I think they were sending that energy out because one day they met at the water cooler. They start talking. Every day they see each other. Now they're speaking. They come to the cafeteria and they just, so happen to start eating lunch. They're having more conversation. And as the days go by, the weeks go by, months go by, they get even more personal. And it comes out about their trauma. One has come out of an abusive marriage, and the other has come out of infidelity in a relationship. The person coming out of the abusive marriage, that person has children. The person coming out of infidelity, they're single, they have no children. So when you look at something like that, right off the bat, there are some things that are not the same. There are some things within these two people that they're not really commonalities. So I believe that if they did not experience the trauma that will bring them together, they more than likely may not have ever crossed one another's paths, let alone even had a conversation. But I think that trauma is a commonality that will bond you. So back to these two people, they start talking about the things that they had been through, where they had come from. They start realizing, hey, you're a good person. I'm a good person. We didn't deserve this. No, neither one of you did deserve what happened to you. But also neither one of you deserve to bring the trauma that you've not healed from to the other. But you're looking at this like, we've got this in common. We're both finding some good qualities about one another. We're getting to know each other. I feel comfortable with this person, and it all looks good on paper. That's my saying. All looks good on paper, but once it starts unfolding and playing out, there are some things that could trigger that other person, and they could trigger you. One of the things that played out in this couple's relationship some years down the line was infidelity. And as a result of this infidelity, it fractured the relationship that they had built off of that trauma. That trauma that brought them together, they built a relationship on that had encountered something that brought them together, which was infidelity. This infidelity with these two people, even though they brought it together, they're thinking that in their minds, they're healing. They're healing together. They're getting past the Six of Cups, right? Okay. They feel as if that they're both coming into balance and alignment, right? Things are looking better. They're getting justice. All right. They're getting justice. And their justice is they feel as if they have a healthy relationship. So I don't want to go off the beaten path because I don't want to take us too far off of getting this message to whoever needs this. Infidelity came out some years into their relationship. I would say less than 4 years. More than 2, less than 4. So it comes out and it's found out. And the way that it comes out, because I think that this is important when infidelities are exposed, how they come out, it's messed up that they come out, but how they come out really will affect you in a way in which you couldn't possibly imagine. So this affair, the third party calls the partner, or no, the third party, she doesn't call. This is, what is it, through Facebook, where they can instant message you, or I guess they can call you through Facebook. And the person does that, and they have a conversation, and the person lets them know that, I really care about that person. I think that they even admitted that they think that they're in love with them. And I'm thinking, as this is being told, well, how could she think that she was in love with somebody? It's just an affair. Well, it comes out that it isn't just an affair, where it could have been maybe once or twice. This had been going on for some time, for a couple of years. Okay. So by the time it came out, it probably had been in its second year. So by the time it got to the partner that was having the affair, the first thing that they thought of is, I'm going to lose my relationship, my home. Well, you should have been thinking about that when you were having this affair, week after week, month after month, year after year. You should have been thinking about that. But the first thing when they were caught is, I don't want to lose my family. This sends them into a downward spiral, a deep depression. They're in a place in which this partner, the other partner, has not seen this side of them, and it's scaring them. But here's the thing. If you see that somebody is emotionally unstable, they are spiraling into a depression, and you know that there's nothing you can do, you may want to reach out and get them help. But you also, too, with everything that is played out, just for yourself, you just may want to chalk this up to the game. Take a L. Take a L. You're coming off of something looked good. You thought it was something that it wasn't. It isn't. Walk away. This person did not walk away. They figured, we're going to struggle. We're going to get through this. We are going to get each other through this. We talked about getting married before this came out, and we're still going to do it. And the person that went into the depression went out and got that person that engagement ring. They planned an engagement party. The party came, it went. They started planning the wedding, which I think was maybe a year out, so it was plenty enough time. The remnants of that trauma, of the infidelity that the one partner brought in, those remnants were still remaining. And one day it popped back up in a phone call, which the one partner ignored. The other partner takes that as a disrespect, or you're hiding something. And I can't deal with that. My thing is you knew you couldn't deal with it when you found out what this partner did. Now, you just left an abusive situation. You found out that this person that you ran to, you didn't run to him, but this person that you're with, that they have just caused a tower moment for you. They had been draining you, feeding off of your energy, because they know you have a family, you're a hard worker, you're out here doing what you're supposed to do to keep your family and this person who wants to be a family with you, you're out here doing everything that you need to do. That person is confused. They're depressed. Just like I said, their mental state is not in the best place. With that being said, put this person in the Five of Pentacles. A lack of mindset. You don't know where life is. Life just does not feel good to you. And your mind doesn't feel right. And sometimes people don't know how to come out and say, some people I think feel, just like they're saying, it's a weakness. You're not weak. Mentally, you may not be able to handle everything that you feel that you can. That doesn't make you weak. But some people do not handle depression well. And the people that don't handle it well are the people, the loved ones, the friends, the co-workers, the partners that slip through the cracks. And we look at them as, oh, they're okay. Look, we got through this. I believe they even started to go through couples counseling. I guess because of the depression, you're thinking if we can talk this out, maybe that will help. Maybe it would and maybe it wouldn't. But when someone goes into a depression and they start doing self-destructive things, they're causing ruckus within themselves. They have an internal war within themselves that has now just wreaked havoc on this relationship that you have. And it's come out to something to where an affair, that's hard to recover from. So when this person talked to me about this conversation, don't get me wrong, I'm married. And I know what it is to have to struggle. I know what it is to have to really commit, lock in, work through, grow, wait, go slow. You make a lot of allowances. You have to be flexible within relationships and within marriage. But some things you can't be flexible with, and there can't be an allowance for. When you have an affair, and this was my example. If it's 1 month or 1 year, 1 month, 1 day was too long. 1 day was too long. So when I think of 1 month, and then I think of you even took it to a year, that's not an affair. So that 2 years that this was going on for that person, that wasn't an affair. That wasn't a relationship. What I tried to point out to this person is you'll never be able to trust that person as much as you want to. And as much as you guys locked in because you were in the muck of it, because you both came from abusive, horrible relationships, and you found two people. And look, because that person had that affair, that doesn't make them a bad person. That makes them a person not healed, that's broken, that's only doing what they know. They're only doing what they know. And that doesn't make it right to the person it's being done to. But again, when you come together with someone and you're not sure if they've gotten past that last relationship, these are things that can happen, not to this extreme. Let's get to the end of this so we can get going. So, depression. All while the one partner is quietly in this depression. They're walking around, their heads down, they're drinking a little bit too much. A DUI comes out of it. That's destructive behavior. So the other person, if that person had not broken their trust and broke their heart, when they started seeing that destructive behavior, it would have raised flags. And a conversation would have been had. Is everything okay? What's going on? Do we need help? But because you've broken my heart and my trust, I see you wilding out. Oh, well, you'll get it together. But what you're not aware of is this person isn't strong enough to get it together on this go round. They're broken. They've been caught in something that is immorally fucked up. You don't carry on an affair for that long. That's not an affair. I don't care what anyone says. Come on now. A couple of years is a relationship, but you are not strong enough to come out and stand in your authenticity Instead of trying to avoid the conflict of, yes, I did it. Look, there's something missing in our relationship. There was something lacking. It's my bad that I didn't come out and have that conversation with you because I should have. I owed you that. Rather than to keep this going on, but I've not been happy. I didn't communicate right. I am truly, truly sorry. Please forgive me. And I believe that came out that way. And because that person is so hurt, of course you want to hear something like that. But that's what you want to hear. Is that what you need to hear? What I need to hear is, what made you think that it was okay to go out and have an affair for a few years? Where did you stop learning? Where did you stop using communication with us? And here's the thing with this. This is a couple. They've got children. The one partner came with children. But the other partner who has no children looks at that partner with children like they were a family, a blended family. That partner's accepted that partner's children. So they've got a family, like anybody, any family, anyone else, you've got debt. Okay, so the one partner takes a second job, and the other partner's job, while their job is to support that partner that's working that second job at night. Now I work a job during the day at home, so I'm here with the kids. And then I'm going to go out into the workforce in the evenings. And you're going to be at home holding this down. And we're going to get through this. So this went on for that 2 years. That's how that got past that person. I know everybody's like, well, how didn't you? Exactly. Well, if I'm working and by the time I get home, everybody's up, they're on their schedule. The kids are none the wiser. You've been out for however long. You're up and you're on your way out the door. Everything looks normal. And when you do not pay, sometimes we get so busy that we don't pay attention to, if you've got a partner that's very quiet and masculine energy, men, they do not come out and just verbalize, I just don't feel that great today. My emotions is kind of down. I'm feeling a little vibrational. The things on the job are messing with me. I'm just feeling depressed today. I just need a mental illness day. A man is not going to say anything like that. He is going to walk around with his hands in his pocket. Maybe his head is down and maybe it's up in the air and he is in his head. But he's not in communication telling you this. And that's why as women, this is where, again, intuition. Your intuition is everything when it comes to a partner that does not come out and let it be known. Hey, I'm drowning here. I'm drowning. Ultimately, they both wanted a happy family. They wanted a divine ending. But when you stop looking at the signs, when you start looking away at what is right in front of you, it could land you in the Five of Pentacles. Here's someone that after this affair came out, that they were exposed, they were in bondage, they were jailing themselves in their mind, they were punishing themselves in their own mind. They created their own internal mental jail. Relationships, they are no joke. Even when they're healthy, there could be all types of obstacles, roadblocks, all types of things. But when we're talking about dealing with addictive behavior, trauma, that's serious. And that's something that we can't overlook because we don't want to experience that happiness. Where is it? um, numb discomfort to maintain an illusion of harmony. You're doing a disservice to yourself by pretending that this isn't so. Come on. Give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. Step away from that. Relax. You've got an Eight of Wands coming in here, and right behind it was a person that is obsessed with you. Okay, they're obsessed with you. They also are doing some magic on you, some type of spell work. Okay, more than likely it's that third party. That third party that was in the middle of that affair. We all want love, but at what cost? Okay? We all want it, but at what cost? You want it the right way, and you want to be healthy as it comes to you. And the only way you can do that is to make sure that you're okay, that you're healthy. That you've transitioned out of that pain and out of that horrible relationship that you were in, that you've gone away from that and on to something better. The only way that you can stay away from traumatic, addictive trauma, the only way you can stay away from addictive trauma bonds is to use your intuition, what I call your first mind. Your first mind is your right mind. It's that first thought, not the one that you had to think over the thought, the first one, to come up with the B that came with the C. This all came down to intuition. Knowing if something feels right, if it feels wrong. No, when you meet someone, you very well may not know that what they've been through, that they've been through a terrible experience. And they have the capability to do to you what was done to them. That partner did not want to do to that other partner what was done to them, but it was what they knew. It was what they were used to experiencing in a relationship. That's what relationship and love look like to them, and that's what they wanted it to look like to you. You can't, don't sell yourself a dream. Let somebody else try that craziness. Let them try to sell you a dream, and then you can tell them where to get off. But don't ever do yourself the disservice of, well, it might not be right now, but we're going through some things and things will be better. Maybe, and maybe it will not. You don't know that for certain. And this is something, in putting on my cards back, I want to give you guys an angel message. But one of them that dropped out, again, is that Seven of Cups. And what that is going back to disillusioning yourself. Making this an illusion as to it's one thing when you know that it's something else. Again, like I said, that's playing in your face. You're playing in your own face. And if you're okay with that, so be it. Okay, one more card. Your angel messages, honesty. When we get right down to it and we're honest and we honestly take a look at things, open our heart and our mind, we know what's right and we know what's wrong. Self-belief. If you don't believe in you, who will? If you believe in you, you're more confident. And I think that in believing in you, you won't fall for the okie doke. You know what's good for you and what isn't. Transform in something that is messy as what we had just discussed. You have to transform out of that terrible, hurtful, heartbreaking energy. Shadow work needs to be done. Shadow work. Not that, again, it isn't that somebody is broken. It has nothing to do with you being inadequate. It's just that when emotionally you've not been cared for and nurtured the way that you should, you're not going to know how to do that for others, and you may even forget how to do it for yourself. However it is that you want to be loved, you find people that embody that same type of love. And that might take some time. That just might be, I've got to sit back and watch you. That whole work thing, this is not take on the whole work thing. Workplace relationships can be a disaster, or it could work well. But here's the thing. It's the personal and the business. We got two things already into one, right? Then we find out that we both come out of something really kind of crazy. So we're both not only trying to learn each other personally, but we're also learning each other as co-workers. That's confusing, and it's a bit much. And if it doesn't work out for us personally, how does this affect us in the workplace? The saving grace with the couple I told you about, and that is, some of it is real and some of it isn't. I had to change it to protect the anonymity of my friends. The saving grace for that couple, one went to another place of business and the other one stayed somewhere else. But as time went on, they moved in together. Again, the family integrated. It got real. It gets real when you move in and you start playing house. And I think the person that had the affair, I don't think they know what they signed on for. And I think it was a little bit much. And maybe they did not know how to communicate. And maybe the person that this was being done to actually seen it being done to them. Not saying that this is it's their fault that this person did it. It is not their fault. But you have to see something is wrong. And if you turn a blind eye to it, you play as much a part in this messy heartbreak situation as the person that's doing the dirt. So comes right down to it. When you come out of something, it may feel good to rebound. You may want to be with somebody because you're lonely. Don't do it, please. If you could be a friend with someone, be a friend with someone. But sometimes when it's someone that is attractive to you and you know if you were in better shape, you might want to engage that person, that's somebody I'd stay away from at the water cooler because I know I'm going to engage them. And I know that more than likely they might be attracted to me. And I'm sorry in this instance here, because both of them who have been through some trauma, you want me, you're going to have to chase me all around this water cooler. And I'll see you next month or the month after that. But what I have just been through, until the ink is dry on the divorce papers, until I've gotten out of my head, walking in on this person in my bed with my partner. There's no amount of time on that. No amount of time that, oh, okay, well, I'm better now. Now I can go and be with someone else and I won't trigger them. Please. So that with that being said, be true to yourself. Be authentic. Don't be afraid to be alone. Use your friends for support and comfort. Above all things, hit the knees and talk to God. He will guide you through any situation that has no clarity for you. I can go through these cards and give you any suggestions or what I might see, but the best answer in the world is the Lord. With that being said, I thank you for spending this time with me. I hope some of you got something out of it. If you didn't, come back. We'll get some more. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit the like button, hit the like. Also, subscribe. Love to build that family. Really love having you. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you soon.